Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Tripp Smokepit. I'm Tripp. Today we're talking to Bryan Wark, Marine Corps veteran, and a pretty awesome photographer I found on Instagram who's got a good sense of humor too. How you doing tonight? Well, actually, yeah. Anyway, before we were live, we were fucking talking about fucking photography and shit. One of the things I wanted to bring up that kind of spurred this conversation was talking about, I guess, the differences between like taking like portraits, vice, taking like photography for miniatures or like action figures or scenic type stuff. Does the lighting translate over? Like if I were to do this lights with something big, can I do it with something small?
Yes and no. The basic skill set, yeah. But the majority of it, no, because my lights are 24 inches and larger. So if I was to take like my photography is those really dark shadows and everything, if I was to take a 24-inch light and try to take a picture of just a soda can, it's not going to have that intense lighting because the light's just going to wrap all around it. So the basics connect. You just need like smaller lights or reflect them off of things. You need to control it a little bit better.
But the guy we were talking about was taking pictures of Star Wars stuff, so he was using the light side of the Force.
That is true. That is true. His name is on top of my head, but Galactic Warfighter Frames. He is a fantastic photographer. Like when you see the behind the scenes, and then you see just the actual way that the image turned out. In my head, sometimes I can't even translate how he got there, and I'm literally looking at it, and I'm a photographer.
So one of the things that he would do is he would take like old World War II photography and just like recreate it with action figures. And fun fact about that, in not a lot of his early work, but like some of his early work was with my action figures because we were stationed.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was neat watching him do shit because he'd set stuff up and he'd be like, all right, we're outside and I'm shooting this with, I think we're using 5Ds at the time. And he's like, the lighting sucks. I need to make this effect. So you and I are gonna rotate, fucking just turn your lighter on and move it across real fast, to kind of get that long exposure fucking effect.
Yep. And that's one of the biggest differences. So the portraits I take concentrate on the actual person in the picture,
right?
And whereas his don't not do that because he does take those intense pictures of the Star Wars action figures. But like you said, a lot of them, he's reenacting old famous photographs. So it's more of getting that perfect setup rather than concentrating on necessarily the subject. How am I trying to say it? The actual individual person in the photo.
Right, like a scene versus a subject.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Which I would like to say, fucking, I do find your subject, not the subject matter, because everybody likes the subject. Subject presentation. I do like your use of lighting and shadows and like normally more hard edges. I would guess would be the right word.
Yeah. I definitely like those deep shadows and everything. A lot of times I own a lot of lights, and a lot of times I only bring one of them out because I just like when it's that one basic light source hitting the subject. It does not necessarily something dividing them from the backdrop. I have a whole bunch of canvas backdrops. I use my black one 99% of the time. Everything else I bought has always been a waste of money because I'm like, I'm going to use this. Never even touch it. And I know I'm not going to touch it when I buy it because I'm like, if I ever get an idea for this photo, for a photo using this, I'll at least have it, knowing damn well I won't actually do that.
Now, see, I'm kind of like that in a way, except for it's a little bit less intentional. Like say for example, right? Like my lawnmower died, right? And I went to go buy a new lawnmower. Now I have a pretty decent sized backyard, and I don't want to push the thing, but I can't afford like a riding lawnmower, so I get like the one that's got like auto drive, like front wheel drive thing on it. So I mowed the lawn with that once, and then my father-in-law buys a new fucking like 0-turn riding lawnmower and gives me his old riding lawnmower. So it's like, could you have given me this like while I still had to take it back? Not that I don't appreciate it. I really do. I fucking love this thing. But timing's just a bit off.
My parents like that. I love my parents to death. Sometimes I will buy something, or Krista, my wife, will buy something. And I'll be like, you know what? We really need we'll just go stay with a lawnmower. I'm like, we really need a new lawnmower. So we'll buy one and we'll tell my dad about it. And Dad's like, that's a good idea. I'm going to buy a new lawnmower. Just because I bought a new one. So he has to have one as well.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely with the fucking thing. I wouldn't say I was as bad with what is it, like buying something and not using it, but half of everything I buy is fucking paint. And you know, it's
Mhm.
like, well, I don't like this color. Well, I also don't like this canvas that I bought or came into. I'm just gonna put this on that and call it a day.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
whether
I've
that becomes popular or sells is a completely different fucking.
yeah. I do get a lot of I do get a lot of fair share of people who don't understand that that's pretty much all I want to shoot is the dark stuff. Because I'll
Yeah.
get messages like a client that I had probably about a year ago now. I act like it was like a week ago. It was probably about a year ago now. So they booked me through my website. So if you go to my website, you had to scroll through all of my work to book me. So they booked me through my website. They saw all my work. We discussed it. We get to the studio. I'm using a black backdrop. I'm using just one light and everything. I deliver the pictures like, wow, these have like a darker tone to them. I thought they were going to be like light and fluffy. Like what? At what point
were you not there when I took the fucking photo? Like,
exactly. So I get a lot of stupid things like that. Where people just don't pay attention. So like their expectations between what I actually do is very skewed.
now I have a question on that because I don't think I've had a photographer on here before, but I have had a few I guess adult models.
Okay.
Just because you know people watch those videos a lot. But like still like they're still getting fucking retweeted. I'm like, dude, that wasn't even an interesting conversation. Why are you fucking anyway? How is your process with that? Like, are you finding a model and hey, listen, I'm taking a picture of this, or do they come to you and say, hey, I want a picture of me like this, or is it kind of like case basis?
It's case basis to a point. Every now and then I will do a specific project, and
Yeah.
on that specific project I'll be like, what I really want to do is take this photo. So I will look for a model who's comfortable with that, and I will discuss it well beforehand. For everything else, for all the clients who hire me, I tell them to dress to their comfort level. If they want to shoot in lingerie, then they show up wearing lingerie. If they want to shoot in a burlap sack, then they show up in a burlap sack. I know I'm going to kill the photos.
Have you shot somebody in a burlap sack? I don't think I've seen that.
I have not, but if they showed up to it,
now I want to see it, man.
right. I want to do it just to prove a point and have those two cover photos be on my website.
Do it.
I honestly might. But that's kind of like how I operate. I let them choose the wardrobe. Some photographers are really picky. Like, they'll be like, I want something very specific. Like I want to take a picture of a woman full frontal nudity, but they won't ever discuss it with the model until the model's there at the studio. Like, and that's just to me weird. So I make sure I don't do that. I know I'm going to kill the photos, whatever they wear. So I let them pick up the wardrobe. Even on a project that I'm doing that's for myself, I'll be like, this is what I'm going for. So here is a $30 gift certificate to Amazon, or you can use your own clothes. You will. This is what I'm going for. But buy clothes that match this, that you're comfortable wearing.
So burlap sacks and wait. Now I have one. Fishnets. Now, not like the stockings, but like that you go catch halibut with.
Yeah.
Where's that?
I actually have a really interesting story about fishnets. So this was probably about 5 years ago now. This model picked out her. I've always done the pick out your own wardrobe thing. So this model's picking out her own wardrobe, and at the time, I really didn't photograph anything that was even implied nudity. Like it was you either we're clothed, kind of thing. Yeah. So, I had her pick out her own wardrobe, and she wore a white fishnet shirt, like a fishnet shirt with no bra. Okay. Right. She looked at herself in the changing room mirror because the changing room has this huge like mirror across an entire wall. So it's not like she couldn't see herself. I asked her 4 times, like, are you sure that's what you want to wear? And she's like, absolutely. I look at myself in the mirror. This is what I love, whatever. So I take the pictures, I edit them, I send them to her, and she's like, you can see my nipples in this. Really? It's a white fishnet shirt with no bra. What do you think was going to happen?
Secondary question, lady, ma'am, not to be rude, but did you drop out of 8th grade? Like,
right? I have nipples. When did that happen?
You need these classes more than I do. Well, that's kind of an extreme example, though. It's like, dude, come on, like, how?
Yeah. So, and it's funny because I use that story as I use that story kind of like to explain to people, like, I will take photos of whatever you wear. Make sure that you look for your wardrobe functions because I don't know what your comfort level is. If you want to wear a shirt without a bra because you don't like the straps, but you do not want like your nipples poking through the shirt, that's really easy. I can either edit them out, or you can wear pasties. One of the two. But let me know. Let me know. And sometimes I'll ask if I feel like they are the kind of person who doesn't want that, but they really did like the way the shirt looked, I will specifically ask. Our studio gets really hot, so I crank up the AC, which makes it really cold, kind of thing, as they switch back and forth. So sometimes I don't think they're aware of it, and I'll try to be a little bit more courteous. But in reality, you're the one in the picture. I'm not the one in the picture, so I don't know what you want to look like.
What's the weirdest thing though?
The weirdest thing that I've ever been asked?
Yeah. Like picture wise. Like not like fucking like weird, like, you know, pervy or whatever, but like why are you holding a dead octopus?
Honestly, I don't get too many weird requests that I consider to be weird. So a lot of times I don't know, I think it's like my comfort level is I honestly don't find too many things weird, so I can't think of any at the top of my head. I was like, wow, that's a really awkward
weird
concept.
Human being. How about that?
What?
Weird to a normal human being. How about that? Because like,
yeah, that's what I'm trying to think.
Like while you're brainstorming that, like, just, like I guess like weirdness factor and shit. Like my wife's watching a show called Sister Wives right now. It's about this dude and all four of his wives because they're polygamous Mormons. And then, you know, my wife will be like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, they're weirdos. So, I mean, this is normal for them. Granted, that dude's a tool and his wives are all idiots. But, I mean.
Wow. But to tell you the truth, I don't know if I've ever even been asked to photograph something that's like, it's like really abnormal. I do photograph every now and then. I photograph male strippers. Which is a unique experience, but I don't necessarily consider that weird because
you're hiding shit from us.
So this is something that a lot of people don't know. 90% of my work that is up on display are all projects that I've done with my actual friends, like models that I enjoy spending time with. Like I enjoy the company. Most of my work that I am paid for, I don't post, and it's not because I don't like that individual person or anything. It's because I don't want anybody to feel a certain way if the photos that I took for them didn't get as many likes as like somebody else or anything. So I want them to be comfortable, and they're their photos. Like a lot of photographers argue that. I don't have a problem getting advertisement and everything and getting word of mouth. So I don't feel that there's a need for me to constantly be like, oh, I worked this weekend. Here's these photos of this random person's wedding that you don't care about. Because do you really care if I did a wedding last weekend? If most of the stuff on my website is all that dark, obscure stuff?
That's fair enough. Well, that and like at the end of the day, it's like, well, you know, I get paid for this, so like, fucking, if it goes on Instagram, if it don't, fucking whatever. Now, what if somebody asks you about that though? Like, hey, I noticed this person's stuff.
So, I straight up, I will be straight up honest with them. Some projects I just really like; they really fit my style. Because I get how I make a lot of money is through second shooting weddings and doing family portraits or doing those like nice like lit things, whatever, with a white backdrop, and like they're just better looking and they don't fit my style. And so that's usually my excuse. Like they're like, and now the cat's out of the bag. No, I explained it to him honestly.
My Instagram has an aesthetic, damn it.
But I do have like a lot of like weird stories. Like I do have a request that wasn't a weird request. It was how he did it and when he did it. Okay. So this guy shows up 26 hours late to my house. That because I used to have a studio right here in this room. I've now changed it to the den, but he showed 26 hours late. He was supposed to be here on a Saturday. He showed up at Sunday at around midnight, which was 26 hours past when he was originally supposed to be there. Whatever. I'm not doing anything. I'll still do the photos. Yeah. So it was for a calendar. They were all like sexual, like male sexualized photos. Yeah. And he's like, for the idea for the last picture of the calendar, I want a and by this time it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So
he's been there for 12 hours.
Yeah. So he was there for a long time. So he's like, I have an idea for a photo. I was like, I want to be standing there completely naked, kind of like in that scene from Blue Mountain State, with all standing there, naked, pants dropped. I don't know if you ever watched that show, but he wanted a picture like that, and he wanted a woman's hand to be censoring him. And I'm like, okay, but it's almost 3:00 in the morning. You and I are the only ones here, and I like not going to like try to like take a picture like this. So, like, do you have somebody in your phone who's awake, or like, why don't you just go ask your wife? My sleeping pregnant wife, who's upstairs in her bedroom, he wanted me to go wake up to give him a hand job for a photo.
Yeah, how about no, buddy?
Yeah. So that photo shoot was over. I never ended up giving him his pictures. I ended up giving him a refund because I wasn't dealing with that.
Yeah, dude, that sounds like a massive fucking pain in the ass. Fucking, I don't think I have anything that bad. Fucking shit. Although fucking, I did have a scheduling error once that led to some fucking shenanigery because like this fucking show, it's all on fucking line.
Yeah.
And I set it up for I don't remember what time, but for sake of example, like 9 p.m. on Saturday.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, fucking sent somebody the link. I'm like, all right, well, I'll be in there 15 minutes beforehand, blah, whatever, meet you there. And then, she fucking texts me back. She's like, well, I'm in the waiting room thing. You're gonna let me in? I'm like, it's tomorrow at fucking whatever. She's like, yeah, that's what time it is now. I'm like, oh fuck, I forget you're in Australia. I fucking hammered. Fuck it, let's do this. And then it was a terrible fucking show. Like, she was great, but I was just this fucking like.
I used to do this podcast, and there was my two buddies were the hosts of it. I was just one of the people who recorded it and came up with the ideas, and then my other buddy helped me edit it. So it was the four of us in a team, and we always try to have guests, but we try to have like local guests because that's how we were going to try to build it to a local audience first.
Yeah, and
they would ask some of the most really awkward questions that were completely off the wall, kind of like you do, but like you have an established audience and everything. But they would do it like, so we had this actress on it, and it was one of the last episodes we did because it was this huge thing. But they kept asking her questions about like her love life, but that's not like, they wouldn't start it like, they'd be like, so you were in this movie Sharkenstein, and she was like, yeah, like, so do you have a boyfriend? Like, just completely A to Z.
Hold on, the brakes just a little bit. Sharkenstein, I have not seen that. That's gonna go on the fucking list.
Dude, it is a fantastic movie. I make fun of it, but I love it. I love shark movies. They're one of my favorite things.
Is it on par with Sharknado?
It is. I think it's better than Sharknado because Sharkenstein gets struck by lightning, grows legs, and goes and makes a baby with a woman on the just like goes and makes a baby with some woman. Yeah. Movie is off the wall. Like, there's this one scene where there's like it's supposed to take place at a beach. So all the B-roll is bought in B-roll that takes place at a beach, filmed at a completely different frame rate, different color grading, everything. They didn't even try to match it. But they filmed the movie here in New York. I'm pretty sure it was here in New York, like at Lake, like one of the Finger Lakes or something. Yeah. So they're obviously not in the ocean because you can see like the shoreline and like the one running through the woods. Like, anybody who's lived on the beach knows there's not usually a lot of pine trees growing up out of the salt water. So it was it's an off the wall movie, but my friend was in it, so I had to watch it, and I fell in love with it. It is so these people are running through the woods. They're fighting Sharkenstein, who now has legs and is running through the woods. And these people all have different guns. One guy's got a handgun, one guy's got a rake, one guy's got a shotgun, and they are all fully automatic, including like the rake. Like, everything is just shooting fully automatic at the shark.
Oh my god, that's. I'm gonna have to fucking find that. That sounds fucking amazing. That sounds better than fucking. What was the one where it was like a half shark, half octopus?
Oh, Sharktopus.
Was it Sharktopus? I thought it had a better name than that.
No, those movies never have a better name. Like, there's two of my favorites are Prehistoric Shark, because none of them roll off the tongue. You have to have the word shark in it. So Prehistoric Shark, and then Exorcist of a Shark, which is about a shark who becomes possessed by a demon, and a priest has to fight him.
I had this idea for a fucking short story. We'll get back to the fucking podcasting here in a second.
Yeah.
But excuse me, I had this idea for a short story because I watched because I really like ghost shows, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't care if they're bullshit. I'm sure some of them are real than other ones, but even if it's like 100% phony, I'm here for the story, right? I'm watching TV.
Right. I got it.
Real.
Yeah, my wife and I watch reality TV all the time. We do not care how fake it is.
Yeah, but there was one show, and the show was actually like, really good, like very well produced, like very coherent stories and shit. And it was these people telling these like horror stories. And one, it was this girl, and when she was little kid, she'd wake up every night and she'd see this like fucking like knight in like really fucked up dingy armor, like standing at the edge of her bed, but it was always looking away, and it was like terrify the fuck out of her. And one day, she got up the courage to be like, hey, guy at the end of my bed, you're scaring me, go away. So the thing put its hands up, backed out of the fucking room. She never saw the thing again. But after that, she started seeing like a lot of demons and dead people and shit showing up. She's just like, I wish the night was back here instead of this shit. The story ended kind of a downer, but I had this idea where it starts off like that, but the knight is your stereotypical fucking soccer hooligan, just happens to be in knight's armor. And then like one day, fucking like 12 fucking demons come in, they're like terrorizing her, they're like holding her down to the bed. They rip the fucking like sheets off, they're starting to pull on her pants, and she's like, oh my god, knight, come back and save me. And then fucking like door slams open, he's pointing a fucking mace at the head demon. What, you like fucking the little girls, don't you? Shit out of the fucking demons. And then she becomes a ghost hunter with her ghost knight buddy, friend, or whatever. I've yet to write that, but I think it'd be fun.
No, that would be a fun short story. I'm a big fan of short horror stories. Either I like drawn out horror movies that are really slow burns, or I like short horror stories. Too many movies are like, we don't know how to progress the plot, so we need 47 people to die halfway through it for no reason.
Well, I mean, that can be done well though. Like fucking,
it can.
Objectively speaking, there's not a good Freddy Krueger movie, but they're all amazing as far as I'm concerned. And they start off like that, drawn out, like what the fuck's going on. Here's a quippy one-liner. I'm gonna call somebody a bitch and cut him in half, and it's like he's using their guts to play guitar. That's fucking metal, man.
That's true, and so it can absolutely work. But it can only work in certain scenarios. Like it worked for Freddy Krueger, it worked for Child's Play, it even worked for the Jason movies. But it's not going to work for every single movie. And so trying to make every movie that kind of sucks. Like I like what the Saw movies became. I haven't seen the newest one. I like what they became. Because I don't really care about the twist. I like to see how off the wall these things are. Fast and Furious movies, I love Fast and Furious movies. They're off the wall. I'm not watching that movie because I think The Rock can break out of a cast by flexing his muscle. I don't really think he can do that. Like I watch them because they're off the wall.
Now, see, my thing with that though, like with say Saw, is the only one that like I guess bothered me was the second or third one, and that was only because somebody fell into like a pit of syringes, and I was like, yeah, no, that's not my worst nightmare, but it's like just short of getting my dick peeled like a banana. But I don't know what to think of those, because like the first one was a great fucking like
it was
fucking movie. Like it wasn't really all that gory, it was more psychological. And then after that, like they did ramp it up, and I guess that depends on your taste whether or not you like that. Like I can watch them, but like I know what's gonna happen. They're gonna get whatever, and then one person can figure out that if they cut their fucking left testicle off and glue it to their eyeball, they'll be able to fucking like the same thing happened with the Exorcist movies, because like the first one, horror, whatever, and then like I remember one came out when I was in like high school where the demon was in Africa or some shit, and at the end of the movie, the priest is like running down this hall of light, holding the crucifix out. The demon's
yeah, there's a lot of movies that they went too far with the not the remakes, the movies are trying to turn it into something that it wasn't. There's like lots of examples. I can't necessarily think of them off the top of my head. Like even the Jaws movies, where it turns out like the shark wanted revenge, and so he was chasing that guy. Like that, sharks don't think about that. Like,
I mean, that depends. Did you ever watch Sea Lab 2021?
I used to watch it when I was a kid.
There was an episode called Tin Fins where they took nature's greatest killing machine, the great white shark, and needlessly turn it into a cyborg Terminator.
Okay. All right. I think it. there was I was thinking of something. So another shark movie. I really am obsessed with shark movie. I don't know what it is. Sharks and alligators. No, so like this the Deep Blue Sea. Is the first one tried to make sense as much as it could. It's actually got the same plot as Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
Humans were trying to make a vaccine for Alzheimer's. They injected it into something. For Deep Blue Sea, it was a shark. Weird that they started with a shark. I would have thought of a lot of different animals first, but they decided to do it with the shark. And the sharks obviously learn to communicate and do things like swim backwards. Obviously, a shark's not too stupid to swim backwards. It physically can't.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh shit, I've been swimming the wrong way all this year. This is so much easier.
Yeah, no, fucking that kind of shit's like what was that movie Lucy, or like that thing where it's like you only use 10% of your brain, the rest of it's not like dumb matter. The rest of your brain is like on your beat and your organs do shit. Just because you can't control it doesn't mean it doesn't have a fucking job.
Yeah, like it's your central nervous system. Like it's making sure your cells are replenishing. Like all these like tiny things. It's not if you tap into more of your brain, it's not like you're gonna be able to control time. And what did she do? She actually started controlling time, didn't she?
Yeah, something like that, and then she became God. But like on that though, like if it did give you that fucking power, like if you took a pill, use 100% of your brain, you become a shark, swim backwards, like just as terrifying would be if dolphins had thumbs.
Yes.
Because everyone likes, oh yeah, dolphins, they're so cute. No, those things are fucking terrifying, dude. Like, not only are they fucking terrifying apex predators, but they're also racists. And it's like,
movie plots are definitely but I love movies. I'm a huge movie buff, so I love movies, but their plots are so bad most of the time because a quick Google search, you'd be like, wow, this is full of shit. Like you've been on your Star Wars kick lately.
Yeah.
And I've always loved the Star Wars universe. I love it. I've never liked any of the things Star Wars has actually put out. Like the books are an exception. Yeah, but like the movies and stuff, I can't do that. They're so bad.
Okay, so I want to come back to Star Wars, but real quick, Josh over in the comments about the dolphin said Adolf Flipper. But yeah, no, fucking, I think it's one of the fucking weird phenomenons about fucking the Star Wars universe is the world it's set in is, for whatever reason, so much more interesting than what's presented to you, I guess.
Yes.
Which you can make your argument about the original fucking trilogy to a point, but then even then, it's like there's so much more going on, and the more you see what else is happening, the more you get like, dude, that's cool and all, but like you're totally missing. I don't know what it is, but there's something you're fucking missing with this. Yeah.
I feel like the biggest problem with the Star Wars universe is it became so big with the original trilogy that everybody had so many different expectations as they started to expand it. People had way too many expectations between reading the books or the comics or playing the video games.
I'm the absolute worst about that because it's like I read the books and it's like, no, motherfucker, that's not what happened.
Yeah. Do you ever watch a guy who does the what are they called? The pitch meetings? Ryan George. Yeah. I love his Star Wars ones.
So
like, do you like? He was like, do you like politics? You're like, not really. It's like, well, we're gonna fill 2 hours of this movie with politics.
Yeah. Why? So the movie can happen. Yeah. What is that? Screen Rant? I think that guy's on.
I think that's what it is.
I don't know if that dude has his own channel or not, but I hope he's getting paid a lot for that.
I know. His things are hilarious. Every time I watch it, I forget that it's him reversed for the thing by the end of that. I honestly always feel like it's two different guys in the room.
And that's a good fucking I guess fucking technique or model or whatever. Because like, I don't know if you're on TikTok at all, but there's a lot of people that try to do that kind of shit on TikTok and just don't pull it off. It's like, dude, at least put on a bandana for one of your characters. Maybe like twirl your mustache, wear a different shirt. Something, change just a little bit.
Yeah, I have a trouble. I don't mind Instagram Reels as much because they're a little bit shorter. TikTok is because I can't stand the popular songs that they use. The songs that become popular because of it. I don't have a problem with them at first. It's when every single skit now has that song for absolutely no reason, just so they can tag it.
Yeah, fucking, I don't know, man. There's been some shit on there about that though, because fucking like obviously like you don't like the fucking like popular bullshit fucking whatever pop song they're doing, but like every once in a
Right.
while it'll be like a song that they meme, and I'm like, this is actually a really good song. This is from 1983. Jesus Christ! Download that album real quick, and it's like, this is the least. I don't want to say worst because there's negative implications about that. This is the least awesome song on this album. How the fuck did I not know this?
Yep.
It was never released in America until like 2008. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And that's what happens. Like they do sample some great songs. But the other thing is, sometimes they sample the best 30 seconds of a horrible song.
Yeah. Fucking yeah. No, there's a channel, I forget what the fuck it's called. But like I subscribe to them on YouTube, and it's like the Korean version of fucking like MTV or maybe Korean VH1, because like you know that like post-punk like kind of emo, kind of metal shit that like people like Interpol were doing fucking 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So apparently that's big in Korea right now, except for these guys have had 20 years to fucking practice.
Okay.
So it's like, imagine a genre you liked, except for done by people with 20 years of experience making these fucking songs. It's like, dude, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, but goddamn, I hope whoever hurt you got hit by a bus.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't mentally. I don't think I could handle singing emo stuff for 20 years. So I have a love-hate relationship. I love rap. Rap is my genre. I absolutely love rap. And I have a love-hate relationship with artists like Tom McDonald, because he obviously, like, he's a decent lyricist, but his songs contradict themselves left and right. Like, he doesn't believe in the things he says. He's just going for that, I'm going to sell this album. Like I'm going to sell this song because it's controversial, and I'm going to say the most outlandish stuff in it. Eventually, he's going to run out of stuff. Like, you can only talk about the same thing with a different beat so long before people want to hear it from a different artist.
Yeah. Well, on that, do you ever listen to Froggy Fresh?
I do.
I think that dude's the greatest rapper that's ever fucking lived. Just because, like, I think he had like 4 or 5 albums, and if you listen to them, like, they're all completely different fucking songs, but it's all one long fucking story. And like the songs are all good by themselves, but you put them together, it's like, oh, this is a fucking novel you wrote.
Yeah, and the music videos like help match that. Like, what's that one? Just got dunked on. I forget what it's called.
Yeah,
like, that's the hook of it. The music videos match and everything. I love his music where they don't address things that you would think should need to be addressed. Like, he's dunking on the hoop. The hoop is only like 3 feet tall because he is only like 3 feet tall.
Fucking have you been paying attention to him since he stopped doing that?
I have not.
So he's doing it's almost like indie shit. Like, imagine like some dude just like talking about whatever, like while playing an acoustic guitar, but he's playing piano with it. But he's got one about Chris Hemsworth, and the whole song's telling Chris Hemsworth to go fuck himself because his wife watched the Avengers and doesn't want to bang him anymore. And he's like, my wife is like 6'9", fucking, blonde dude. Bitch, I am 5'2". I only got like $5 grand in my bank. I can't even keep up with this shit, man.
No, that's I'm gonna have to look that up. That sounds funny.
Yeah, and he uses his real name for that. Like, it is just fucking primo. But he also does a lot of shit like that, where it's just saying outlandish shit to see who does what. Like, he had one, and it was, I forget what the fucking song was called, but pretty much I think the opening lines were something like Hillary's a psycho, Christians are retarded, and Trump is a fag. And then it just got worse from there.
Sometimes that's what you got to do to do. Like, I never knock an artist for doing that, because like, hey, get your hustle, make that money, man. Like, we all want money, but I do not knock it, and that's what my love-hate relationship. Like, I actually liked some of the messages in the songs, but I know damn well that he would not necessarily fold on his opinion, but he'll have 2 songs that contradict the message completely, and I just have the suspicion that he does it just for the money, which is what it is.
Well, what I've noticed with that though, is outside of most, I'm gonna go with like metal or rock bands, because they're all singing about fucking drugs, pussy, and driving a fast car, and it's kind of hard to that. Almost everybody else will fucking like absolutely contradict themselves on the same fucking album. It's like, here's a love song about how much my fucking bleeding heart will undyingly love for you. Yeah, sorry I shot you and drug you out back. Yeah, fuck it. Also, here's a song about like this. It's a nice day.
That's actually a really, really good point. Some artists though own up to that. Like the artist Tech9, he owns up to that because he's like, hey, part of me is completely psycho and I love like the darker lyrics and everything. But sometimes I just want
a long time before he like doing some dark shit before he started.
Yeah. Yeah. So the other songs were like, I just want to sit at the club, party, and eat some pussy. Like two completely different things. And you have to respect it because he like acknowledges it. But some people are just like, they won't even acknowledge it. Be like, remember when you said this? I didn't say that. Here's a picture of you saying it. No, it wasn't me.
Yeah, fucking, I don't know. See, like, I'm more into the fucking, like, I like all kinds of fucking music, but I'm more into the 80s shit. And when I say that, like, yeah, there's the 80s metal, but, like, also, like, Miles Davis's fucking 80s shit was fucking great. Like, I'll listen to fucking 80s pop, fucking, I don't know why it's not fucking acknowledged, but, like, fucking country music's fucking golden age was in the fucking 70s and 80s. Yeah. But fucking, I just think it's funny how, like, you'll listen to a fucking song and you'll think, oh, hey, this song's about this guy and he's having a fucking argument with his mom and his girlfriend fucking left him and fucking got in a car accident and blah, 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 whatever. What is the song actually? Oh, it's about heroin. This is all just about heroin. Okay. All right. My bad. I'm completely misinterpreted that.
Yeah. It happens all the time. Like, my parents just always like, what are you listening? Like when I was in high school, they'd be like, man, you're listening to Isa P. It's such like vulgar, like drug-induced music. I'm like, didn't you listen to like Rocket Man nonstop like when I was born? Like, I'm not going to like burst your bubble, but do you know what that song's about?
Well, I figured since he's gay and Rocket's a slang term for dick, I don't know. Well, I mean, like we just got to the moon in 1969. Fuck. Okay. Fucking.
But yeah. So.
I'm sorry. Go on.
No, go.
Oh no, I was gonna say there was some real interesting interviews with I don't know if you ever listened to fucking David Bowie, but he had that album what is it, like Space Oddity, about, you know, and the whole thing's about being in outer space and shit. And there were some interviews from back in the day where he was like frustrated about it because, like, yeah, I wrote one song about being in outer space and everybody thinks I'm a fucking astrophysicist now. It's like, no, I don't know anything about space. I just thought it was a cool story. Fuck.
Yeah, I see that a lot. I wish they would start making these I'm gonna call them mockumentaries, lack of a better term, because they are the biographies of like Rocket Man, and you have Bohemian Rhapsody and all those. And some of the facts are obviously made better for the TV and everything.
Right.
But I wish they would start doing them on, and I understand why they don't. I wish they would start doing them on artists who did not make it into recovery. Like because they always end on a high note. But I would love to see one about the fall of like Elvis. Like end it where the story ended. Like actually let it end there.
I don't know if that would necessarily have the effect that you think it does. And hear me out on this. So, like we got a lot of like, you know, figure statues, you know, fucking posters and shit, like very visual, fucking, like stuff around the house. My wife refuses to have anything Elvis in the house where Elvis is depicted as being skinny. She only wants fat Elvis, which it's like cool, but weird.
Yeah, no,
I don't understand, but all right. But there was a fucking he did a cover of "You Lost That Loving Feeling," you know, that song from fucking Top Gun, and it was live when he did it, and you know that's part in the song where the original guys go, you know, I get down on my knees for you. Well, in Elvis's version, I get down on my knees for you if this suit wasn't so tight and I wasn't so fat. It's like, oh. So that's what you would get with that fucking movie. I mean, the king's gonna be the king.
yeah, but like, even if some people didn't like it, I wish it existed so I could watch it. Like, I love the movie Peanut Butter Falcon. What is the other one? It's got Shia LaBeouf. It is a comedy drama. Hulu calls it the dumbest name in the world. My wife makes fun of it every time it pops up. A dramedy. Dramedy, yep, it's word Hulu made up as far as I know. But it's a great movie, and it's one of those slow burn drama movies that doesn't end with the world's happiest ending. Not to ruin it for anybody, but he's been out for quite a while. But there's another one by Shia LaBeouf that doesn't have like the best ending to it. There's the movie Blow. It doesn't have the world's best ending to it. They end on those sad notes, and sometimes that's what people need because just because you are the hero of your own story does not mean you're going to have a hero's ending.
Well, see, now that gets into a little bit of philosophy on that, because like you could go that point of view with it, or like I wouldn't consider myself a nihilist, but I do understand from the outside, nihilism is like, oh my god, everything's terrible because nothing matters. But like on the actual side, it was like, dude, nothing matters.
Yeah.
But fucking, it's kind of one of those things where you put shit into perspective. It's like, hey, this is gonna work out, and if it doesn't, I'm gonna die. So fuck it.
That is true. That is true.
Granted, a lot of people don't put into perspective. You dying doesn't mean you fall over dead. It means here's fucking 3 years of chemo that don't work. But
yeah, I just sometimes those things put things into perspective. For my sake, and that's why I like watching them. That's why I'm glad that they exist. Obviously, I don't want every single movie like that. I was actually having a conversation with somebody the other day about TV shows, because now TV shows' big thing is to kill off any cast member at any time for any reason, just like shock value kind of thing. And my buddies were like, oh, that's what they do and everything now. Yes, they do, but I like that better than what they used to do. Introduce a character to die off. Like, I wonder who's going to die in this episode. The guy in the red shirt, maybe? Like.
Fucking funny story about that. You know the Dos Equis most interesting man in the world guy?
Yeah.
He was a red shirt no name, and he survived the episode.
Really?
And he survived the episode.
That is fantastic. That is
so fantastic. He really was most interesting man in the world.
Yeah. That is but that is my that's why I like that they know we'll kill off a main character. I sometimes they do it too much, like you can't get attached to any character kind of thing. Yeah. But I still do like that a lot better than hey, this is my long lost brother John, or it doesn't really matter what it is. He's gonna die and push the episode along.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily anything new though. Like, did you ever watch what was it? Voltron.
Mm-hmm.
So the original Japanese thing was called Go Lion. It was like 4 times as long. The story was a lot more fucking dramatic. I don't think anybody made it more than like 10 episodes long. It was more about the story, not the characters, because the characters just didn't stick around. And when they brought it to America, they decided that's too violent, and we can't have a kids show with, about the story and not, fucking whatever. So they put it down to be like, 30 episodes long and about whatever they could splice together to make a fucking show. But fucking, I remember I found that fucking, I was in my 20s at some point. I was like, dude, I don't remember Voltron at all. I remember watching it, but I don't remember what it was about. You know what? Fuck it. Let's get the Japanese version, because, that's going to be more authentic in the story. I'm like, holy fuck, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah, that's kind of how it works, though. Now, when you got the Japanese version, was it dubbed in English? Or did you kind of just have to like pay attention to what's happening?
It was subtitled, but it was like the right region code. I don't nerd out that much. I'm not gonna buy a fucking different region DVD player to fucking watch whatever the fuck it is. I'm not gonna learn Japanese to enjoy this fucking show. Like, ain't that much fun. Come on, man.
Yeah, I have trouble watching a lot of animes, and it's really because I read low, 1, and 2, I do a lot of things as background noise. I'm at my computer 80% of my day, and the kids are like screaming and they're running through the house. They always need something. So I use things as background noise. So like sitcoms or movies that I've seen 40 times. But if I have to read the screen and everything, I just can't do it until everybody goes to bed. And by that point, I just want to have something I'm going to fall asleep to.
Yeah, fucking maybe half of an episode of paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Just gonna put on Seinfeld again. Fuck it.
Yeah, I don't know why. Every single night after my wife goes to bed, I will search through Netflix, Prime, Hulu, Vudu, like all of the random services that we have. I search through all of them just to watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia again. Like, I will spend 2 hours just to pick the same show I've watched for the last like 2 years.
Okay, so there's a band called Battle Legs.
Okay.
They play mostly like acoustic pub music, I guess would be the right word.
Huh?
Like the fucking like dorks that would just like have acoustic guitars at a fucking bar and like they got paid $20 to fucking be there and they're gonna put on a fucking whatever. But they did an absolutely fucking phenomenal cover of fucking Dayman.
Really?
Yeah, like fucking look that shit up fucking at some point. It's
I just typed it in to look up later. That's awesome.
Because that fucking I was it. Yeah, no, they didn't do a new season this year yet, did they?
I don't think so. I think Hulu only goes up to season 12, maybe. And I think with COVID and everything, there were certain things that they couldn't do. And I feel like if they made a COVID season, they would make it after COVID was over to really get those jokes in there and not push it. Yeah. Because my wife and I have been watching some shows, and we'll notice that there'll be entire episodes missing from the season because they had misinformation about COVID in that episode. So they just strip it. So like because as things were unfolding, there would be there was everything in the news. So like it'd be like they just skip over it, like the episode never happened because they were like, oh yeah, you have to spray your Amazon packages down with Lysol. They're like, well, we don't want people to think we were actually doing that, so that never happened. We never. So there'll be episode 1, episode 3, episode 7, and they'll just act like that was the season.
Dude, Dude, the reaction to COVID is a million times worse than fucking COVID itself. Actually, the fuck was. It is or fucking whatever. But
that's how it will always be. If it was a like twice as bad as we ever predicted and half of the population of the planet died, you would still have people who were hoarding resources knowing damn well they couldn't use them. Like, I understand my risk. I have my guns in my gun case. I have all my survival equipment, knowing damn well that if the apocalypse ever happened, I am sitting on my couch until I lose power, and then I'm just going to drink soda until I'm out of it, and then I will just watch the apocalypse unfold, slowly dying to death. I'm not going outside and building a farm. I know my limitations. But you would have, like during COVID, you'd have people who were like, had ridden around in little Walmart scooter things, buying like 4,000 MREs and like camping gear and camping. Like, what are you going to do? You can't walk through a Walmart. You're expecting to survive out in the wild if the economy collapses? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, and like fucking thank God that like I wouldn't say I was a hoarder. I just buy stuff in that I shouldn't buy in bulk. So like before fucking everything went through the fucking roof, like fucking I don't know exactly what happened, but Malaysia fucking like switched their fucking like weapon systems over and was just selling their fucking 7.62 for like dirt cheap. So I got a lot of fucking ammo right now that I bought 3 fucking years ago. And I was planning on going all and shooting it in one day just for like a fuck around. Hey, this would be a cool YouTube video. And then like COVID hit, ammo went through the roof. I was like, well, thank God I got that then. And like my house is right up against the woods. So like worst case scenario, I wait for a deer to walk my backyard, cap its ass, and then fucking like eat that for a fucking year, you know?
Yep. I love building ARs. I'm not a good shot. I actually have a joke. When I was in the Marine Corps, everybody nicknamed me the sniper. And every time I walk in the room, they'd be like, there he goes, Mr. Berm Sniper. That was me, the nice. So I'm not a good shot, but I love building ARs. So when COVID hit and guns skyrocketed, because like the closest gun shop to our house is the small little place that doesn't have anything in stock normally. So when COVID hit, the shelves were completely empty. And then I have my pistol license, so I have a lot of pistols as well. So I use those to fund my Legos. I was literally like, here is an AR. It cost me about $800 to build. I will sell it to you for $3,000. And I did that. It's not like I'm going to sit there and wheel like 7 of them during the apocalypse. So I sold them and I funded it for my Lego collection. I just kept buying Lego sets with all the money I made to get me through the days since I couldn't leave the house.
Nice. Yeah. And then like fucking if push comes to shove, like you only have 2 hands. Fucking,
yeah, exactly.
If you wanted to, you might be able to rig a strap up to have like a carbine in one hand and a pistol in the other, but like you're not going to hit anything, and that's best case scenario.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I do with like supply and demand. I felt a little bad for price gouging, but at the same time, if somebody's stupid enough to buy a $800 rifle and go through the background check and pay everything for $3,000, that is honestly on them. I shouldn't feel that bad because I didn't feel like it would ever come to that during COVID. Everybody was just panicking. It really was as easy as just stay in your house if you don't want to get sick.
Well, yeah, but the way people were treating it though is like fucking. If you didn't know anything about, like, say you're an alien and you showed up and you just like watched the news, you'd imagine like people were just like falling over dead in the fucking streets. Like,
yeah, no, exactly. Like my dad got COVID and he got it bad. He ended up with bilateral pneumonia and spent 2 weeks in the hospital because of it. So he spent 2 weeks on bed rest in the house. Couldn't get over it, ended up with bilateral pneumonia, ended up in the hospital. I was really worried. I knew my parents were high risk to begin with. I didn't want him going to work. He would decide to go to work anyway. He's retired with a part-time job. Like he did not need to go to work.
yeah,
he just liked extra spending money. So I was really nervous about him. I had several of my friends' parents died. I have one friend who has permanent lung damage because of it. But even with all that, I understand that it was a true thing to to avoid everything, but to shut down entire franchises just because people might get sick within there, personal responsibility has to have some sort of role. I know I don't want to get AIDS, so I don't have unprotected sex with hookers. It really is that kind of easy. In my head, it's that easy. Yeah.
And I have always felt like a fucking asshole for that because yeah, dude, I understand AIDS is bad. It was fucking terrible at a certain point, but don't share needles. Wear a condom.
Yes. Yeah, personal responsibility at some point has to play a role. And
I mean, that doesn't mean I don't feel bad for other people, but dude, look both ways before you cross the street.
Right. Yeah, you look both ways before you cross the street. You expect every other car to stop at a red light, but I know every car is not going to stop at a red light, so I look both ways before I cross the street.
Yeah.
I know that the second that the vaccines were available, people would stop wearing the masks, even though they didn't have the vaccine.
Right.
I'm a foster parent. I work inside of the school district, taking pictures for kids' yearbooks a couple months out of the year. I decided to get my vaccine. Wasn't that big of a deal. I still wore my mask because I know the vaccine's only, I don't know, what was it, 80% effective, something like that. They reported. So yeah, so I still wore my mask for a couple weeks.
Well, the other thing that kind of bothered me was you remember when Johnson & Johnson stopped giving vaccines because 6 people died?
Yeah.
It was how many people got the vaccine? 14 million and 6 died.
Yeah.
I would have expected a lot more people to die of it than that, just because my mistrust of military medicine.
Yeah.
But
no, yeah. I always feel bad because I have this dual epilogue in my head. I feel heartless sometimes because there are things like that. Only 6 people died. It's not that big of a number, and yes, it is tragic to those 6 people. I'm not trying to downplay their death, but on the grand scheme of things, I'm sure more people that day died eating Big Macs at Burger King or McDonald's, whatever. Big Macs is McDonald's.
No. Big Macs at McDonald's or
yeah. Wait, which one are they? Yeah. So anyway, I'm sure more people died choking on those than they did through the vaccine, and you don't see them stop serving those because somebody can't chew or their body reacted differently than other people's doesn't mean it's necessarily unsafe. Yeah.
I mean, and I had a buddy and fucking this guy, he's one of my best friends, but he is worst case scenario, liberal stereotype, to the point where it's annoying. But he's well, that's the way science works is, fucking you do something, and if it works, you keep doing it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't do it. And it was a good thing they stopped it because, who knows what would have happened next. I'm 6 out of 8 to 14 million? That's not even a number.
Yeah. But, it's really not.
And then I'm well, I kind of feel like a dick for saying that. But at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. I kept making the argument back to photography way back. I kept making the argument every single month, about once a month, in one random photography group. They will decide to have an entire discussion on train track photos. First of all, so most groups have banned train track photos because like 13 people have died in the last 10 years on train tracks while taking photos. 13 is really not that big of a number to me. More people have died drowning, falling off cliffs, getting attacked by animals, trying to take photos than trains.
A fucked up statistic in the United States of America: 2,000 people a month die from falling down the stairs.
So there you go. Like, so taking a picture at the top of the stairs is more dangerous than taking a picture on a train track. So I understand that it's illegal to take them on train tracks. However, because people love train track photos, there are lots of places across the entire United States. There's even one that's less than 10 miles from my house where they decommission the tracks. There is no start. There is no stop to them. There's no way for a train to get onto them. The railroad sold that land to the state, and you can go there to take photos all over the United States. But photography groups are like, you're not even allowed to post pictures of train track photos because it is 100% illegal, which is not. It's only illegal if you're doing it illegally.
Yeah. Like where the train goes.
Right,
look
exactly.
At the rails. If there's rust on the rails, nobody's fucking using it.
Yeah, exactly. If you have to break onto somebody's private property to get to it, you are breaking law. If the state owns it and turned it into a running trail, then you can be on it and take photos on it, and there's not an active train on running trails. Like, but photographers are just like, no, we have to, because of those 13 people who died in like the last 10 years. More people have died trying to take pictures of lions. More people have died trying to take pictures of alligators, crocodiles.
See, the thing with like lions and alligators and that kind of shit, like if you get killed being around a lion or an alligator while you're around them voluntarily, like I am not going to feel bad for you at the fuck all, because I watched Animal Planet. I know what that shit's capable of. You're an idiot for being around them.
Yeah, honestly, if I die from anything besides something that was out of my control, like if somebody comes and shoots me in the back of the head that never met me, you feel sad. Anything else, if I die of a heart attack, I know the food that I put into my body.
Yeah.
I'm not tricking anybody into thinking that I'm healthy.
But if I drive my Jeep off a fucking cliff in a rainstorm while there's ice on the ground and I've been drinking, have the funeral, fucking serve some whatever needs to be appropriate, and then talk about how I'm a dumbass for doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I feel about most things. That's honestly how I feel about most things. I don't feel bad for so I actually have a photo. It was a girl and shooting her revolver straight towards my camera. Finger on the trigger, cocked back. There's a round in the chamber. I understand that that's not something to do. I understand that it's against all safety protocols and everything. I'm not stupid. I understand that. But it made an awesome photo, which is why I wanted to take it. If she accidentally shot me in the face, that's what happened. I died doing something I love. Like, don't feel bad for me. I knew the consequences when I was...
On that one, though, like, they make dummy rounds, right? Like, the powder in it.
How close I had the camera... So I guess that's something we could have done. In retrospect, that's something we could have done. How close I was to her, honestly, the dummy round might not have made that big of a difference. I mean, it might have saved my life, but my face was probably...
You drop the hammer on them, like, all day long.
They don't... The pressure that comes out of... dummy round without any powder in them. I was thinking, like, starter rounds.
That's no.
So, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Like, it's like a piece of plastic. Like, it's one piece.
Yeah.
Like,
in retrospect, that was probably a smarter idea.
Go to Bass Pro, man. That shit is there.
I'll keep that in mind next time.
Yeah, fucking dude. Yeah, no, I had some fucking moments like that because, like, I would not consider myself a good photographer by any stretch of the imagination. And while I do like other people's photography, I was a photographer for fucking 12 years, like, as my job. And it was in the military, so, like, I don't ever want to fucking do it again. But I had plenty of fucking what you would say dummy moments, like my first firefight, right? And just to date myself a little bit, fucking, shit's going down. I pull my fucking rifle up, and my fucking team leader's like, "Nah, dude, I need pictures for MySpace." So,
All
all right, fine. And it was always funny because, like, during briefings and shit, whenever I was with somebody like a new unit, they'd be like, "Hey, listen, camera guy, we don't know actually what to do with you. So while you're doing your job, don't do anything dangerous that would put yourself in harm's way to get a photo done." And I was like, "Yo, yeah, like, because I love my job that fucking much that I'm gonna stand up on top of a berm while fucking everyone's fucking shooting to get a fucking good picture." Yeah, thanks for having that much trust in me. Like, god damn, dude, shut the fuck up. It's purple, and the guy telling you that's first art.
Yeah. They used to. So I was a generator mechanic, and my job when I was in Fallujah was making sure. Really, what my job was setting up generators in FOBs in order to make sure that everybody had their morning our generators that just make more noise than anything in the world. So that was my job. So I kept getting transported from one spot to another spot. But every day, like once a week, we had to turn them off to like do like basic maintenance things. And every time I turned it off, like a first sergeant or somebody would come over and just turn it right back on so they could get the coffee. So that was my career. That was my military career, was fighting over somebody's cup of coffee.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yep.
Fucking dude, I had some fucking idiots in my fucking day too, because like we'd go on a patrol, I'd send fucking pictures up or whatever, and then fucking I had this fucking idiot fucking warrant officer up at fucking MEF. She wasn't my warrant officer, she was like the MEF's fucking warrant officer, and then because whatever falls down, and she fucking called my fucking fob, gets me on the phone, he says, "Hey, I need you to stop taking pictures like this." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Well, these pictures you sent up, it can give away, if we publish this can give away our tactics to, the enemy. They can see this and see what we're doing." It's like, you mean taking a knee behind a rock so they don't get fucking hit with enemy fire? Yeah, that. Like, we don't want them to know that we can do that. That we can do that. We can do that. We can hide behind rocks so we don't get shot. Okay, cool. And I didn't fucking, I just sent whatever the fuck up after that. What got out? What got out? Got out. What didn't? Fucking.
Yeah. Somebody in our unit posed with a dead body, and that basically had all of our cameras stripped from us. So I have for my deployments, I have like 12 pictures, and they're all like in the chow hall. So that's good. But the other thing, back to like your story about that, is I remember I had to get my top secret clearance. I'm a generator mechanic. I don't mess around with computers. Like one of the reasons I use Mac, everything's set up for me. Like I don't mess around with computers and everything. It's just easier.
And what they don't tell you about that is the higher your clearance is, the more boring the shit gets.
Yeah. So I had to get my top secret clearance to go into a room that the wires ran into, and the only thing in that room is a map of Iraq. They're like, you have to make sure that you can't bring your phone or anything in here. You can't take a picture of that. It is a map of Iraq. It doesn't have like our positions or anything on it. It is just like a giant printout of the country we are in. I'm pretty sure the locals already have that fucking information.
Yep. Yeah, and then like fucking like I did PSYOP for a bit, and I had to get my fucking TSSCI for that, and every TSI fucking top secret fucking briefing I went to, the only thing that made it top secret was where people were then. It's like, okay, listen, if I have to go through all this fucking bullshit to get this fucking clearance, tell me where the fucking aliens are. I don't care where fucking 1-7 is. I know that they're in fucking Ramadi right now. All right, that's not a secret. They're published. That's just on CNN. Where are the fucking aliens?
Yeah. Like, you understand that they just checked in on Facebook, right? Like, everybody knows where they are.
Yeah. It's fucking. It's stupid. It's stupid. That's the word I'm going to use to describe that.
Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with the military. It's mostly I hate it. Like, I'm glad I did it, but I mostly just hate it.
No, I fucking. Granted, love-hate relationship. If I didn't live in the barracks the whole time, I think my opinion would be a little bit fucking different. But like I fucking love my fucking job. If I didn't get medically separated, I'd still fucking be in. But like the perk about being a fucking photographer in the military though isn't that you're fucking taking pictures. It's that you get to see fucking everything. Somebody needs pictures, you fucking go. Somebody might need pictures, you go. Somebody you can weasel your way into saying. These guys are going to Korea and you need a photographer. You should probably send me. It's like grunt see grunt shit. Motor T guys see motor T shit. Artillery guys see artillery shit. I see all their shit, you know?
So. That is actually, that's actually a good job. Yeah. So I didn't get to see anybody's shit. I just got to keep attaching to units who were just like, I don't know, sleep on the floor right there. All right, cool. Can you take me back to base tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah, I will say that those fucking generators though do have a fucking like weird psychological fucking effect on you because like it gets to a point when you're like around them fucking all the fucking time. Like I was probably sure it's different for fucking you, but like when I got back from fucking Afghanistan, I couldn't sleep because there wasn't a fucking 2-ton fucking motor going 24/7. You know, it's like where's the noise? Where the fuck is the noise?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Asked, but did I kick ass of bulk fuel stuff? Yes and no. I am me. I am average at everything. I've never kicked ass, but I have always been pretty decent at getting my way into things that would seem like I kicked ass, if that makes sense.
Enough to put on MySpace.
yeah, like, hey Tripp, come take this photo of me fixing this generator. With my M16 drawn for absolutely no reason. It'll be a badass photo.
Okay, so I actually do have fucking photos somewhere because like I had to like part of it was like hey I have to send up at least a photo every fucking day or usable fucking photo every day if I wasn't doing shit and if I was doing shit most of it was like taking pictures of fucking like serial numbers of AK-47s to send to the fucking F2.
Yeah.
But like fucking when it was like actual fucking shit, it was like, well, I ain't got nothing fucking better to do. Let me go find whoever's doing whatever. I got some really good action shots somewhere of somebody fixing a fucking generator. And it's fucking fantastic. Not to stroke my own cock, but like they look great. Like the whole like fucking like you got like one arm on top and another arm inside of it, and then like my lens is like 3 inches in front of your face, and I'm using a fisheye, and then like it's like 7 p.m. so we get that golden light, just like basking this person looking fucking heroic, turning a wrench.
That is one question I usually ask people with your MOS. I've asked Raymond Lott. I asked Galactic Warfighter Frame, so I'm gonna ask you too. When you had to go take pictures of somebody that you met for the first time, how awkward was it when like they're all like rucking sandbags or whatever up a hill and you're just there with your camera like, all right, just stand there real quick, pose, I'm gonna get this photo, and just kind of interrupting their day? Like how pissed would they get at you that you had like that job compared to what they had?
Okay, so I am going to answer this in the way that makes it seem like I'm not talking shit the most, but
okay.
Like I love fucking Matthew fucking to goddamn death, and Ray's a good dude, but they were both public affairs. They showed up, take pictures, and left. I was combat camera. I got embedded into the fucking unit. So every time somebody was like crawling up a fucking hill to do whatever,
you were crawling up a hill.
Like, I had been attached to that unit for 3 weeks before that fucking point, so I already earned my stripes.
Okay,
so to say.
Yep. Nope. I know exactly what you're saying.
So I was really good about embedding myself. Like one of the earliest lessons I fucking learned was no matter what you do, take extra cigarettes, extra fucking dip. I don't care if you don't fucking dip or smoke. Fucking you will have that for those fuckers. You will become their fucking best friend. And then when like neither of you had taken a fucking shower in fucking 3 fucking months and shit's just fucking garbage, it gets to the point where you taking a picture of them is like, you have to tell them to like put their dick back in their pants. It's like, oh, hey, take a picture. Look at this. Like, nah, dude. All right, fine. It looks serious for a fucking second. It's all about making friends.
Yeah. I used to keep Playboys in my vest because you just like rip open the top. There's Playboys right being kept nice and flat with your sapper plate, and like, hey, I'm turning off your generator for the next 8 hours, so you will not have lights. You will not have you will not have air conditioning. You're not gonna have anything for the next 8 hours. So here's a Playboy. Enjoy.
So something that I kind of got into somewhat recently on that subject, and I kind of like to hear your opinion on the fucking photography aspect of this, but
Okay.
I've recently gotten into collecting 70s and 80s fucking Playboys because whatever fucking they were feeding their photographers, they were just doing it so much better than anybody the fuck else. Like I think like 90s hustlers and penthouses were fucking all right, but like as far as like photography fucking aesthetic, 70s and 80s Playboys fucking photographers, like that's goat for me.
I think the thing that changed, I think the biggest thing that changed between then and now is back then when you had to develop the film and everything, like you had to develop the film, you had to get it in like 3 shots, you had to have a really good rapport with your model. There was agencies, so they were making sure, hey, so and so doesn't get along with so and so, so we're not going to put them together. Then also everybody was on cocaine. So I think that had a little bit.
I heard cocaine. We're good. I'm sorry.
But I think that's it nowadays. Because cameras are so more readily available. All you do is you take the pictures, you put them in your camera. And some people just like, oh, that's good. It's good enough. Doesn't need any editing. Kind of things like that. People have become detached of having that personal relationship with the people they work with. That's one of the reasons why I do get to work with some of the people I work with. Like I got to work with Raymond and stuff because I don't just sit there and be like, yo, man, we're going to make moves. Like I think that's like the most ignorant thing in the world. Like people message me all day long and I'm responding to messages where they're like, yo, when we shooting together? Like, dude, I don't know you. Like, are you bringing anything to the table? Are you paying me? Like, where's your concept? And it used to not be like that. It used to be like an industry. And I feel like the industry part has died and it's more of just individual people with cameras and then people who are like, I like the way that I look in a bikini, so I'm going to be a model. Whereas like it used to be like a job.
Yeah, like fucking like I think I look good in a bikini. Let me go see if someone else thinks I look good in a bikini.
Yes.
And then after that, let me see if I have the type of personality that's conducive to getting pictures of me taken in a bikini.
Exactly. And I think that's what happened. People used to go to school for modeling. They used to learn how to like walk and everything. And now there's a fight going on. Yeah. No, like now there's like a fight in the photography community. Like who gets paid? Whoever wants the service from somebody else gets paid. Like if I want a model to stand in front of my camera, then I pay the model. If a model wants to stand in front of my camera, then she pays me. It's really that simple. But like there's this huge fight. And so there's all these modeling groups and everything where like, do not let anybody take a picture unless they pay you $300. Well, if you don't have a portfolio, I'm not giving you $300. Like if you want $300, you better come to the table with some references.
Yeah.
That you like, and I want to see your like. I want to see like a professional portfolio. Like I want to see a web. Like nowadays it's digital, so I want to see a website because models have websites. So I want to see a website, and I want to see that you've worked with 5 different photographers. If you want $300 to come out of my pocket,
right. Like make sure your fucking chops are up to par.
Yeah.
So you do then get a lot of like just fucking like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, I get a lot of them. And part of it is because like I worked with musician Massive Man. I've worked with Raymond. I've worked with Topher. I've worked with Deke here. I've worked with lots of smaller bands and everything. I do a lot of promotional work. So I'll take 100 photos that are all decent and can be used for a lot of different things. And I'm like, all right, here you go. Do whatever you want with it. Advert them, make them CD covers, do whatever that sells your image with this photo set. And I do a lot of that. So I get tagged by them in those photos. And then Joe Schmo, who's rapping on this headset, who thinks he's going to be the next Tupac, is like, yo, man, like I'll put you on the map. It's like, first of all, I'm already on the map. Like I can pull up Google right now and show you my exact location. Like I'm already on the map. But second of all, you have 300 followers on Instagram, and not that that matters to me. But who are you shouting me out to?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's one of those fucking things. That, like, I personally haven't had that experience, but I know a lot of people that have told me they have, where it's like, you know, hey, listen, fucking, you know, you can kind of do that for free, and I'll give you clout. And it's like, yeah, dude, like you don't have enough zeros behind that number and your followers. Give me that clout. Yeah. Like there are people I would do that for, but it ain't you.
Yeah, and so it's even goes beyond that. It doesn't happen often. I don't want to make it seem like this happens like daily or even weekly, but every now and then I get messages that are like, yo, man, I have a great idea for photos we can do together. I figured we can collab on it. Now, I'm for collabing if I get something out of it, right? So this is their idea of a collab. Like, I was thinking that, like, what we do is you'd get a helicopter and you'd have me like sitting in it badass acting like I'm the pilot and everything and like edit it so like I'm like above the Empire State Building. And I'm like, you want me to get you a helicopter? That's not a collab. That's me funding whatever passion project you have.
Yeah, it's like, are you going to pay for this? Because if you're paying for this, that's a different conversation.
Yeah. So I always tell people, like, every second I mention collab, I'm like, I'm all for collabing, but any resources, like any money that needs to be spent towards props or anything is all coming out of you. And they're like, well, how much would something like that cost? I'm like, probably about $5,000. They're like, wow, that's expensive. Yeah, but you wanted me to pay for it. It wasn't expensive when you wanted me to. Yeah, like.
Okay, so what if I just sit in this chair and you Photoshop me into the helicopter? Would that be easier? I'll give you the money for the rights to get the Getty images or whatever, man.
The other thing is I'm very petty. So I actually have a list of people I don't like who are photographers, and I send them their way. Like, I'm like, nah, man, I'm completely booked. But do you know who would love this idea? He's gonna act like he doesn't like it at first, but keep hounding him about it. Go to this guy.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, I can be a dick about stuff like that sometimes. It's because I have it's the photography community is very filled with drama. Like and then because I'm me and I'm on my computer so much, I'm always looking. I don't care about being part of the drama, but I like reading it. So like I like going through comments and watch all these people go back and forth.
Is it really that cutthroat?
It really is, because people are under the impression that there's not enough clients for everybody. There are more clients than there are photographers. There's more than enough for everybody. It's your work sucks. They just don't want to admit that the work sucks. So you have two people who will not admit that the work sucks, mad that they can't get clients. There's a reason you can't get clients. I'm not saying that you should go to school for photography. I think going to school for photography is actually a waste of money. Go to school for business and you learn photography like on the side, and then you'll be good at business, and that's how you get clients, is by knowing how to conduct yourself as a business person. But when you're sitting there and 90% of your posts are, I want Trump to have his dick down my throat, and then you're like, I don't know why I can't get family clients. I'm gonna one bet. I got one bet, and I bet you I'll win. I exactly why you're not getting clients.
Now, see, I'm on the opposite page of that. Because fucking because fucking like most I'm a writer, but most of my money actually comes from like paintings and shit. Because fucking I sell a book that's $2. I sell a painting that's $200 to $1,000 ish.
Yeah,
but fucking I have this thing I'll do on fucking Instagram, or I'm sorry, on Facebook, and I hate that it works, but like I'm not above using it because money. But I'll do shit where it's like I'll put up a post. I'm like, God damn, fucking nobody appreciates art anymore. Look at all the shit I did. Nobody wants this, and somebody will DM me, hey man, I'll give you $500 to paint this. But I also don't follow a lot of other artists. Like,
yeah, and it's a strategy that works, and I'm not even against it.
Yeah, no, like,
yeah, I'm not against it. I 100%. I love that hustle.
Yeah, I'm fairly confident that the only artists that I follow are people that I know in real life, and I'm not following them because they're artists. I'm following them because they're my friends. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I follow a few people to keep tabs on them. Other than that, I pretty much have most people disabled on my news feed. One of the reasons I love following you is because I love the memes. I actually have a friend. His name's Gardner. And I'm gonna have I want him to send you a friend request because I steal your memes probably 10 times a day to send to him because he's so obsessed with Star Wars. Loves Star Wars.
Well, I stole
but like I like.
It's a vicious cycle of fucking.
It is. Yeah, I always know if I'm gonna steal a meme or share it, depending on who originally shared it. Like, I don't like you, but this is actually kind of funny. I'm gonna act like I got it from somewhere else by stealing it.
Yeah.
But so I don't mind. Like, but back to what we're talking about. I think that it's great. Like sometimes the controversial stuff works and everything, and that's great. And if it works for you, fantastic. But there are people who are like, I want to be a newborn photographer. I want to take pictures of newborns. But every single one of their posts is about getting dicked down on a Wednesday. People who are going to hire you to be their child's first birthday photographer, they don't want to see that in their timeline, so they're not going to be friends with you. They're not going to follow your page, so they're never going to remember to hire you. So if you're taking pictures of just women in like boudoir and everything, that kind of controversy works, but it doesn't work if you're the child photographer.
Yeah, no. So like, I absolutely 100% fucking understand what you're saying, because like, I can't confirm that most of my clients are stoners. But you've seen my memes, and I had a painting I fucking sent out this week that I painted last week. But it was a great white shark wearing board shorts and a Hawaiian shirt playing a saxophone in front of Stonehenge. And somebody was like, dude, I saw this meme, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little high. Will you paint this? I'm like, that's gonna be $300. I'm like, okay.
yeah, it works. It works. And those are the kind of clients that I want too. Like I like those kind of people who just have that kind of like, yeah, man, like
creative. Like it's like, dude, like I could think, but I didn't. And I'm glad someone put the faith in me to make that visualization. You know?
Do you remember the comedy skit that would actually get torched today? Whitest Kids You Know.
I fucking love The Whitest Kids You Know.
Okay. Do you remember the one about the tattoo when he comes in? He's like, man, I want a tattoo of Bowser. He's like, you want a tattoo of Bowser? He's like, yeah, man, on a surfboard, ripping some notes. You want a tattoo of Bowser?
With a double neck guitar.
Yeah, like,
I have to say happy birthday, Steve, because he's gonna freak out when I celebrate his birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what that reminded me of.
I like, yeah, dude, like I fucking love that. Like, I wish more people would do that shit. Like,
yeah,
like granted, like fucking yeah, when I first started off, like it was a lot of fucking, hey, can you paint my dog? Yeah, I'll paint your dog. You know, and like nothing against that. Like I love dogs, but give me fucking something, you know.
Right. It gets repetitive. It doesn't challenge you.
Yeah, but when it's weird, it's like, okay, so for what you're paying me, I should stop here. But I really like this, so I'm going to keep going. Hope you like it.
I really like your painting. One of the things I like about your paintings is they are old school is the wrong word, but they're not like I see so many of those like TikTok videos where like they'll paint and it will be like a 107-hour painting, and like the painting like every single blade of grass, which is cool. I'm like, I'm not knocking that. I think that's awesome. Sometimes I don't want that. Sometimes I want the shark in a Hawaiian shirt next to Stonehenge. Like I want it to be weird, and it doesn't have to have like a realistic feel to it. Like it can be a little bit obscure. Like that's what I like.
Yeah, no, for like I don't know what the fuck you'd call my art. Maybe 70s aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Like fucking like not a Zeppelin poster, but like whoever opened for him.
Yeah. The other thing is your kind of work is the kind that like stand the test of time. Somebody painting Starry Night with different colors is going to stand the test of time. It might get like it might hang up on somebody's grandma's house wall who likes it, enjoys it. Your photos like people's kids are gonna come across it in like a trunk somewhere, like way in the future, and be like, "What is this?"
Oh, dude, no, that's gonna be a completely fucking different conversation too. Because, like, first off, like, if the world improves at all, and I mean like 1% fucking improvement, social media is not gonna be around in 20 years. Unless we just like keep evolving. But first off, you're gonna have to explain social media before you even start talking about what this was, you know?
Oh, I completely agree. So many people are moving away from social media just because they found out, like, it was like, no, bring us together. They found out we didn't want to be together. There was a reason why we let our high school friends die off in relationships. I don't care what Joe Schmo from Idaho is doing in 10 years. Like, I'll see you at our 20-year school reunion in a couple years. That is it. I don't care what you're doing next Tuesday at the grocery store.
Yeah, dude. No, and like, fuck. That's probably coming up soon. How old am I? 30 something. So yeah, like my fucking 20-year reunion is probably gonna be in the next fucking 5 or 6 years, and I cannot fucking wait to go flex because I am friends with most people I went to high school with, just because like my graduating class had like 120 fucking people, so whatever. But I can't wait to show up like, oh yeah, so I'm a painter for a living, published these fucking novels, fucking. So the Marine Corps did this, fucking put my feet down every time, blah, 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 blah. Well, oh, you had 4 kids. Good for you.
Yeah, that's what's up though. My wife and I have all both traveled out of the country repeatedly. We've been to 48 states together. All of those, nice. like spent the night in the States. The only 2 we're missing are Hawaii and Alaska. Those are obviously the 2 hardest to get to.
Right. Dude, that's still fucking impressive though. Fucking like, yeah. I want to say I've been to every state that has an ocean by it, and then Ohio and Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia. Yeah,
just like a random, out there.
Like Oklahoma, fucking but no, that's a weird thing though. It's like first off, actually, let's go into this a little bit. Like, what was that by chance, or did something possess you to do that? Because like, who the fuck goes to North Carolina or North fucking Dakota?
Okay, so what happened was my wife and I met when I was actually engaged to somebody that did not work out. And then I was just really good friends with my wife. And so when we started going on adventures together, we didn't know what to do. Like, one of those things where you have like a really good friend, but you don't know what to do. Like, what do we do today kind of thing. So we're like, what would be fun? Let's take a picture with as many state signs as we can. So we're like, since we're in New York, we can go get PA and New York because we live right on the New York border. So we can get New York and PA.
Fucking New England in fucking 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So we're like, let's go do that. So we did that. And then probably about half a year later, she was like, hey, let's go down to South Carolina. We can my parents had a house down there. We can go do that for the day. So we took the pictures of the state signs on our way there. And then we're like, well, we might as well get all of them now. So then we started planning so then we got married at the Grand Canyon because we were having such difficult planning our wedding. I hate wedding planning. I hate it. So we were like, let's elope at the Grand Canyon. Whoever wants to come can come. So we had like 5 people come with us to the Grand Canyon. We got married there. We rented a camper van, and then we went to as many national parks as we could, all out west. So we got a bunch of state signs there. So then we were at like 24. We're like, if we're at 24, we might as well finish this up. So we went cross country. Yep. So we went cross country and we drove from New York to Seattle along the Canadian border, hit as many states as we can, a small zigzag pattern. And then we came down and went a zigzag pattern back. We missed, at that trip, we got up to like 39. So then we went to the Florida Keys and to Texas like the following year. And we ended up getting, in between those 2 trips, we ended up getting all 48.
Nice. Well, Florida's an easy one though, because you can hook down through Georgia, try the Florida, hit Alabama, fucking
yeah. So we got quite a few on that trip. The only problem was, and this was a lapse on my part, so we're actually restarting our entire thing. If we took a picture of all the state signs, we're actually restarting it now that we have Baby Boy. So now we're doing them all again with Baby Boy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, so next time you're in fucking Pennsylvania, fucking let me know, man. Shit.
I will absolutely.
Yeah. Me and my buddy Dan were talking about this. I don't know how far it went yet, but it was kind of like more of like a drunk conversation. But like we were talking about going up to your place and getting portraits. But he's God. So I met him in Afghanistan. He's an artillery guy, and then he just happened to live like somewhere close to me. Fucking when I got out, and he's a. God, what is it? Fucking, he's got stand-up comic, right? He's not famous,
right?
But he makes enough money off of it to not have a real job.
I like that. That's honestly the life. I don't care if I have $1 million. Just
if I don't have to go to work every day. That's successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like same thing with like painting and writing books. Like I'm not famous, but I don't have a job, so
Right, exactly. And that's kind of the dream. Like, I'd rather make less money doing something that I don't hate doing than more money and want to kill myself every single day I clock in.
yeah. See, that analogy though is a little bit fucking different though, because like obviously, like I would rather hang out my basement and fucking paint and write and fucking make enough money to like pay the bills and buy food. But at the same time, like I would totally be Darth Vader.
Okay.
Like all that negative shit implies, like, yeah, but I'm also like the king of the fucking galaxy, so I'm gonna cut you in half. Now I would not be Jeff Bezos or like fucking like goddamn Bill Gates or that fucking like Virgin Wireless fucking guy. Like no, I would want the fear factor in it, you know? Like it's like, oh fuck, this guy showed up. All right, so everyone needs to like field day the fuck out of everything right the fuck now. Type guy, but you know,
I would do like the Red Bull, Tesla kind of things if I had the money and the knowledge. I'm definitely not smart enough, and I definitely don't have enough money. But if I could, I would go to space. I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna go build the base on Mars. Like, what are you gonna do about it? Like, you can't do that. That's American territory. Like, come stop me. I'll be there. You come stop me whenever you figure out your NASA program.
Okay. Well, so speaking of how we're actually both monumental fucking failures. Do you know who Johnny Kim is?
Sounds really familiar.
Okay, so this dude, like, his parents moved over to like San Francisco from like Korea, right?
Okay.
First generation fucking American fucking immigrant, right? Well, he's not an immigrant; his parents were. He didn't have enough money to go to school, so he joined the Navy. He was a Navy SEAL. Did some, to put it in polite terms, stuff. Over the first, 5 years he was in the Navy, skull fucking motherfuckers. And then after that, while he was on active duty, got his doctorate in neuroscience to be a brain surgeon, and then became a fighter pilot, and then started working for NASA. And right now he's on the list to be the first person to step foot on Mars. And right now this guy's 36.
Yo, that is what's up.
It's like on one hand, it's like, wow, goddamn, I've done nothing in my life. On the other hand, it's so this dude should not ever be allowed to fucking have an orgasm that doesn't count. Like it's either in a woman or in a jar to freeze to make future fucking soldiers. Like fucking it,
Yeah. It's like, yeah, if there was a time to perfect cloning, right now is that time.
Yeah,
with him,
like all the clones from the Clone Wars, like from Star Wars.
Yeah,
but this fucking guy, Navy SEAL, fighter pilot, neurosurgeon, astronaut.
I do like how in the Clone Wars, or not the Clone Wars, in the new Star Wars movies. Now I don't remember if this happens in the books or not, but I like how in the movies the way it ends up, like the way they discuss it, makes it sound like they stopped using clones and they stopped using robots only so they could have a different cast of characters in the movies. Because like they mention it in passing, like this is the exact reason why we stopped using clones, to like talk about somebody's personality. Like that's a bad reason to stop using them.
Yeah, no, fucking if you paid attention to what the clones are doing, they all had their own very unique personalities because it's nurture, not nature. And the nature part just made them badasses. What they did with their badassery was completely different. This guy's got a mohawk. This guy likes fucking flowers. This dude just likes to fucking. He said "fuck it" and fucked off. They're all their own individual fucking people.
Yeah, yeah. I felt like the new trilogy. Not to get like onto a different topic, but I feel like the new trilogy, every single thing was a plot point. Like every single thing that they did was just to move the story along into the exact direction they wanted to. Like, hey, we need to find this random dark crystal, and we want to show the wreckage of the Death Star. So we need to make a map to it where you have to be standing on the exact cliff and the exact time and with this exact knife to see the wreckage, or like however it played out. Like It was every single thing was just to move the story along to these like set pieces that they wanted.
I think the term you're looking for is good initiative, bad judgment.
Yeah, that's
because like in the books, originally what happened is Palpatine did come back, but he did some weird shit where he made a clone of himself and then possessed the clone, and then Luke Skywalker went to go to try to kill him, but he couldn't. So Luke turned to the dark side so that he could kill Palpatine. But the only reason he came back was because, you know, his wife was badass enough to turn him back to the light side. But his wife used to be a Sith assassin for Palpatine and knew that the dark side was that twisted and corrupted. And because she knew the dark side, she could influence him on turning back to the light.
See, I like that a lot better than I'm gonna try to teach a school, and then if it doesn't work out, I'm gonna go live on a rock.
Yeah. Yeah, they dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And hard.
Yeah. I still think my worst of all the Star Wars movies though has to be a Solo movie. Because they took it.
Not the second Ewok movie.
Ooh,
because that was bad. like as much shit you can give fucking Solo. Like the second Ewok movie was bad. So
some things I just don't remember, pay attention to. So yeah, that was definitely probably worse. But the Solo movie, part of the problem with the Solo movie is they took an iconic character and they took everything away from him and tried to give it an origin story. Like, do you want to know where his dice came from? Well, now you know. Do you want to know where his name came from? Like something I never even put thought into? Now you know.
Yeah, which was fucking dumb. Like two things nobody paid attention to, but let's wrap the plot around this. What they should have done with that movie, fucking don't even fucking make it. They should have made a fucking what the fuck Darth Maul was doing during those fucking years.
Yes.
Like, and literally just like remade The Godfather, but instead of fucking Michael Corleone, it was Maul.
See, I would have done that. And there was a lot of there's that fake trailer for a Netflix show just called Maul. And it looked fantastic. And he got all this hype for it. And so if you were going to make it, like, pay attention to what people actually want. That's what people were asking for. You muted. What did my thing do? I can't hear you.
How about now?
Yes.
Okay, all right, my bad. So fucking what they should have done was like, because there was a couple different ways that after the Star Wars fucking trilogy fucking went, you know, in the fucking books, comics, fucking video games, however the fuck you want to take it. They should have just took what was the most popular out of those and made that shit in the movie, because like people already approved of this fucking story, and now they get it on fucking screen, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's what they did with Marvel, and look how successful those became. Like they were able to do what 22 movies. Because like, all right, so
what was fucking great about Marvel though is they took characters that no one gave a fuck about.
Yeah, and they made you care about them.
Yeah. It's like who the fuck gives a shit about Hawkeye and the Black Widow? Holy fuck! All right, let's do this now. You know?
Yeah. And then like if they got something wrong, like they found, I feel like they found the formula for Hulk. Hulk is a great non-standalone movie because they've messed it up twice, and they're like, we're not going to mess this up a third time. We are going to. Cause they didn't really mess it up, but when the actor changed, I think they made the right call. They're like, all right, these are some popular Hulk titles, so we will sprinkle them into the other movies and kind of do it that way.
Yeah. Now, granted, I didn't think the first two Hulk movies were bad. Like what was it with Edward Norton, and then was it Eric Bana in the first one?
I forget who was that. It was Edward Norton in the first official Marvel one. But then there was that one a couple years before, and I forget who the actor played in it. They tried to do like they tried to do that like comic booky transition thing, and then have them fight a giant puddle.
Yeah, I don't think those were outright bad movies, but they weren't up to par.
Yeah. Yeah. But in a way, that's what I kind of like about it too. Like, there's several of the Marvel movies I'm not a big fan of, but I'm a fan of them because they are part of the overall story.
Right.
But like that, I think that adds to it. They had a plan written out. They made mistake. The other thing is, when they made a mistake, they found a way to correct the mistake the best they could. Like, they made a mistake of showing the Infinity Gauntlet with all the stones in it in the first Thor movie. So in the third Thor movie, they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, these are just decorations. That, like, his trophy room is just decorations, and our father's never actually laid hand on that." And I think that was a smart way to do that, because they found out that that Easter egg didn't play out with the story later on, so they found a way to correct it. I think that was a smart move.
Yeah, and on that though, like, Thor 2 got a lot of shit for being a bad movie, but like I liked that one better than the first one.
I did too.
Like, I thought the whole Dark Elf thing was like neat.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term.
There's something that could be said about oh, there was too many like coincidences. Like, it just happened that rock was on Earth and that she got sucked into it and she was related to, like, had the romance with Thor. Like, there's all that stuff that can be said about it. But isn't that true for most movies?
Yeah, like most criticisms about, say, Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stick with Marvel on this one. Does not translate with Star Wars. But most criticisms about fucking Marvel movies are criticisms about modern movies.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars is a little different. Those movies were just bad by any. But
yeah, and at some point you gotta like check your logic at the door. Like we were talking about Fast and Furious, or I was talking about Fast and Furious earlier. Yeah. Obviously, they're not realistic. I didn't think they were realistic. Marvel movies, I don't want them to be realistic in our world. I want them to be realistic in their world. That, like, what is it called? Suspension of disbelief.
Yes.
So if it makes sense in their world, I'm all for it. The only real big criticism I have about any of the movies is Captain Marvel, and it's going to sound like, oh, well, nobody likes the Captain Marvel movies. You're just trying to be one of those people who hate it because of blah, blah. My biggest criticism is they don't explain one thing that annoys me. She has amnesia. She doesn't even remember being from Earth. She finds out she's from Earth. She runs into, what's his name? Samuel L. Jackson, but who does he play? So she runs into Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, Nick Fury. So she runs into Nick Fury. They don't exchange any information with each other. Like, he's only met her that one time. She is a super violent person. He sees her beat the crap out of a lady on a plane. He sees that aliens exist. All of these things. That is his only interaction with her. She gets on a motorcycle and she runs away. She drives to a bar that she happens to have been at in a previous life. Remember, she has amnesia. She doesn't remember this. She just happens to end up at the same bar, and Nick Fury is there waiting for her. That annoys me, because how did he know to wait for her there? She didn't even know it existed.
Well, one of the things that, like, pissed me off about her was, I think it was an Endgame where they were like, "Hey, Captain Marvel, where have you been?" She's like, "Well, the universe needs me, not just, Earth." It's like, didn't half the universe get obliterated, like, right before this? Not trying to be a dick here, but like, maybe hunting down the guy that obliterated half the universe might take fucking priority. No?
Yeah,
just me?
Yeah, yeah. Like, you have to, like, there's obviously problems on every planet because half the population disappeared everywhere. But like you said, stopping the guy who made that happen seems like it would take precedent over making sure the stoplights are still working on planet X.
Right. Dumb. Also, the other thing, though, that, like, when you look at things, I guess, objectively, fucking, like, Thor, right? Like, he's like 20,000 years old. So all this shit that's happening in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is like the first 3 days. It's like the long weekend of the It's like a long weekend for him,
Yeah.
Like, this is got to be a fucking insane fucking, like, 4th of July for this dude,
Yeah, like why did I ever come to Earth? The second you sent me to Earth, all this shit started happening. You should have just left me in Asgard, and we wouldn't have to deal with any of this shit. It was the second you sent me to Earth, all the Infinity Stones started showing up. Like, you really made a mistake, Dad.
No, but Thor's another fucking example of that is like nobody gave a fuck about Thor. Fucking what, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's your fucking movie. It's like, all right. And then what is it? I think it was in Thor 2 again. When they were having that scene where just like kicking the shit out of everybody with a hammer and they're playing fucking Immigrant Song by like Led Zeppelin and like everyone he hits gets struck by lightning. It's like, how did people not like this?
Yeah.
Explain to me how this is not badass.
Yeah, and it's like that for like a lot of movies. Like I don't care how like corny it might have been when all the gates started opening up and they all came out of the gates from every single movie. Like even what's his name? Howard the Duck even walks through one of the portals. He's seen for like 1 second.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Howard the Duck is walking through one of the portals. So like you have like little cameos from every character that's ever been featured in a movie, minus the television shows, walking through the portals. Like that is like even if it wasn't like what you expect or anything, that is a badass scene. Like no movie's ever been able to pull that off. And I don't know if I ever want to sit through a series that tries to pull that off again.
Yeah, DC is not fucking putting the same fucking cards down.
No. DC wakes up every single morning and they have this giant name generator and they're like, all right, which actor has not played Batman? And they click it. And then they go hire him and make a Batman movie. That is what DC does every single morning.
Well, it's not even that. It's like fucking, I will deal with the fucking Batman movies because, you know, I fucking love Batman. And I will sit through the Superman movies because you kind of have to. But like, who the fuck gives a shit about Cyborg? Who the fuck gives a shit about the Flash? Fucking, oh my God, Green Lantern. No, that guy. Fucking, oh my God, no.
Yeah. If you decided to make a live action movie of a team up for DC, I want to see Teen Titans. You want to give me Cyborg? Then I want to see Teen Titans.
Yeah, no, because they did fucking better. Well, I will say that DC does do phenomenally fucking better animated.
They do. Marvel has trouble.
Yeah, they're not great with that. And then like DC can't fucking make a goddamn movie for fucking shit.
No.
But fucking like animated wise, yeah, no, fucking absolutely. Like there was one, I think it was Justice League Dark, where like Batman fucking hooks up with Deadman and Constantine to go fight. I forget whatever the fucking bad guys were, but like something was going on, and all the characters can see all these demons except for Batman because he's like a regular dude.
Yeah.
Or at least demons like, you know, circle around Batman and like Batman can't see him, but like he takes the fucking like cue from fucking Constantine. There's like a demon right beside him and Batman turns his head and goes boo. And all the demons get like freaked out and like fuck off. And it's like, well, I mean, that's good. Do that. Can we do that with a person? No?
I don't I don't know how good of a movie it would make as a live action or cartoon. But one series that I loved about Batman is I can't remember the fun parts of it. I can't even remember the plot for the most part. I just remember the art for it was amazing. Batman went through history, and so every age he was in, like the Stone Age, he had a bat suit made out of like
the return of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, like I loved that. Like I don't know how good of a movie it would make, but like series like that, like DC is phenomenal at those little run series.
There was this thing they did in the 80s and 90s called the Elseworlds, where it was pretty much like, hey, fuck it, let's just like throw a wrench in this to see what happens. Like there was two really good Batman ones. One of them was called Castle of the Bat, where it took place in the Victorian era. Bruce got killed. I'm sorry, the mom got killed, and then Martha got killed, and then Thomas got killed, and then Bruce Wayne was like a medical student, and he like Frankensteined Thomas Wayne back together. And Thomas Wayne was Batman, but he was also like Frankenstein. And then there was another one that was called Castle of the Bat. And there was another one, I think it was called Crimson Mist, but it was the 3-parter. And the first one was the Dracula story, but Dracula goes to Gotham instead of fucking London. And it's pretty much, you know, Dracula, except for it's Batman instead of Van Helsing or whatever. But at the end of it, Dracula gets bit. I'm sorry, Batman gets bit by Dracula. The second one, Batman is a vampire, but he realizes that as long as he doesn't drink from human blood, he's pretty much Blade. So he's going around killing vampires because vampires aren't alive, so it's okay to kill them. So he's going around with a fucking axe and a shotgun, just murdering fucking vampires. And then at the end of it, fucking the Joker tricks him into biting him, and he bites him. And then the third one, he's like, okay, so I have this unfucking sustainable fucking lust for fucking human blood. How do I satisfy this? I'll just go kill criminals. So he shows up, you know, the Penguin and Two-Face are fucking doing their thing. And like the Penguin's like, oh my God, Batman's here. And Two-Face is like, all right, take us back to Arkham. And then Batman rips Two-Face in half and starts eating him. And then Commissioner Gordon and Alfred have to like figure out how to kill Batman.
That is. I'm gonna have to look that one up. It says it's Batblade. I'm gonna definitely have to look that up.
Yeah.
There is one series that Marvel did with Frankenstein that I loved, and that's Frankencastle, where Punisher got torn apart by Wolverine's son, and then I want to say it was the Tinkerer rebuilt him a body, so he's Frankencastle, and then he has the Life Stone barricaded in his chest, so he just goes on a complete rampage, killing off X-Men as this like half cyborg, half Punisher dude.
There was one because Marvel had one that was kind of like the Elseworlds thing, but they called it What If. But
I remember the What Ifs. Yeah,
there was one where it was like, what if Captain America was Frank Castle instead of Steve Rogers? And it was like, all right, so Frank Castle's Captain America. This is gonna be Inglourious Bastards, but in comic form.
Yep. What if what was one of them? What if Venom, the Hulk, I forget the other two, formed the Fantastic Four?
There is one I picked up recently. I've only read one part of it. There's like 15 different fucking parts, and they're all did their own individual different fucking stories, but I only read the Batman part of it. But Bruce Wayne was dating this woman, right? And this woman was a little scandalous. She was also dating Elmer Fudd.
Oh.
And something happened. Somebody killed her. And Elmer Fudd thought Bruce Wayne killed this woman. And Bruce Wayne thought Elmer Fudd killed this woman. So they like start trying to kill each other. But then Batman and Elmer Fudd realize that neither one of them killed this woman. So Batman and Elmer Fudd go on this vengeance streak. I haven't read the other ones, but I know there's one where it's the Martian Manhunter and Marvin the Martian fucking like hook up.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was one. There's this comic book artist who was an independent guy, and he doesn't call it. I don't know if something happened to him. He hasn't updated his website in like 8 years. I can't remember the name of it, but he used to draw a comic, and he'd release he'd release a page of it every single Sunday, and it was all the '90s cartoons, all going to the same high school, and the main protagonists were the Powerpuff Girls.
Nice.
And so it was their trip. So it was them in high school, but like they were in class with like Zim and SpongeBob and like any Nickelodeon's kind of cartoons, whatever. And it was a really interesting story because it got really bizarre. One of the Powerpuff Girls died, and they had to go to the Nether Realm to kind of like get her. And it was the Nether Realm, and so they made this guy, this kid who was like Death. And his parents were Mandy from Bill and Mandy and Death from the like she grew up, and when he finally came to collect her soul, he decided to marry her instead so she could become immortal. So they end up having this kid is Death, and their uncle is Spawn. And so, like I said, like they start introducing all these characters from like other genres and everything, and it got really bizarre. And I loved it, but one day he just stopped doing it.
Oh, that bites. Don't you fucking hate that though? Like right in the middle of something, they just fucking drop it off. Like there was this one similar fucking type shit called Sexy Losers. I think they started posting in recently, but they had like a long fucking hiatus. But it was all just these like really fucked up fucking storylines, like 3-panel comics, and it was shit like this woman's about to like jump off a bridge and kill herself, and this guy comes up and goes, "Hey, what's going on?" She's like, "Oh, I'm about to kill myself," and he's like, "All right, well, do you want to fuck before you jump?" She's like, "No." It's like, "All right, well, let's wait for you at the bottom,"
I like that. I like something like that.
Yeah.
No.
So, it's what it is.
But it is getting late here, and I have to take all the kids to school in the morning, or not school, so I just have their daily tasks.
Yeah. Well, before we bounce out, can you tell the people where they can find you?
Yes, you can go. You'll find all my social media and everything at www.silentportraits.com. Go right to my website, and my social media links and everything are there. My email, all of that is right there.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you very much for fucking coming on, and I will catch you at a later date. We'll have to do
Sounds
this
great.
again.
Absolutely.
See you around.
Bye. Yep.